Before that, it was Yard Act and Redeemer kicking off City Soundtracks Made of Leeds. City Soundtracks is our series where we travel across the UK and platform the best indie music and indie scenes unique to each city that we visit. And today we are Made of Leeds, playing some of the best indie music to have emerged from this region, which is quite the plus for me, having been based in Leeds for 10 years, watching and supporting the rise of bands like Yard Act and English Teacher, and loads more as well. So as part of this celebration, I'm going to be visiting one of the most iconic independent venues in the area, the Brudenell Social Club, and I'll be catching up with Ryan from Yard Act as well, talking all about Leeds and his memories of the city. All that and more coming up on this episode. It's Kaiser Chiefs and Modern Way, one of the most renowned bands from Leeds. If you think of Leeds, you think of Kaiser Chiefs, and that is what we're focusing on today's show. It's City Soundtracks Made of Leeds, and my guest on the show is Ryan from Yard Act. I went down to Brudenell Social Club and caught up with him there, a venue that has really championed Yard Act right from the off. If you are new to Yard Act, then they're a Leeds band that have been heavily supported by the local grassroots music scene. They released their debut album in 2022, The Overload, quickly followed by their second record, Where's My Utopia? And I'm going to be chatting to Ryan all about the city and all about Yard Act after this. Yard Act and 100% Endurance.
I was woken by a bang, and I could already taste the pain, the sudden fear that grips and shakes you when you face the truth. It's all so pointless, sure is. And when you're gone, makes me stronger knowing that this'll all just carry on with someone else. Something new. It's not like there's gonna be nothing, is it?
It's City Soundtracks, it's Emily Pilbeam with you, and I'm currently at the Brudenell Social Club here in Leeds for our special on the city of Leeds, joined by Ryan from Yard Act. Also nice to be in the games room, which I'm sure I've seen you play in the games room before, maybe when you were in Menace Beach?
Yeah, we did. We played with a band, who was it with? King Tuff we played with. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, it was around the corner before the extension was built.
Yeah. That felt like quite a special moment in sort of the history of Brudenell, having the games room. Can you sort of, I guess, tell people about it if they'd never seen the games room as a venue before?
Yeah, so like the sort of iconic venue bit with the mural on the wall is kind of on the left as you come in. You go through the bar to the right, and out the back there's a games room with pool tables and stuff. And for years, I don't know when the extension was built, but it was maybe like,
I think it was before
in my head
COVID.
It's 5 years ago, but I bet it's like 15. No, probably like 10 years ago. But yeah, it was kind of like they'd moved the pool tables and put shows on in the back room, in the games room, and you could kind of do that as a bit of a like, maybe I've got 15 mates that had come. I guess that was the nucleus of it becoming two venues and having, all.
I'm sure I heard a rumour once that someone told me that the reason they got the community room and extended the games room was because all of the locals were sort of complaining that they couldn't play pool when there was a gig on. But whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I mean, that's fair.
I would love to know, obviously we've been here so many times when you've been playing a gig or just to hang out, but what are your sort of first memories of coming to the Brudenell Social Club? Can you sort of remember the first time you either came here for a gig or the first time you played here?
Well, I came to university in Leeds in 2001, and it was kind of between, we used to go to loads of gigs between Brudenell, there was Joseph's Well, The Vine, they were my three, the triangle of venues, but I used to come here loads. And then I kind of left uni and went off and joined a band and stuff, and then came back and first played here at an all-dayer in 2003. Which,
so long ago.
I know, it's long, isn't it? When I left school, I didn't go to college. All my mates went off and did college and went to uni, and then I was just kind of working. And I'd basically go and visit everyone that was at uni, and then I was just getting pretty interested in being in a band, really. So I was sort of eyeing up each city and kind of fancied Leeds.
Yeah.
went back to college, quickly blasted through some A-levels, and then went and did a media degree, which I did 2 years of, and just so I could join a band, basically. That was it. I was obsessed with music, and so I came to Leeds, and then started a band, and then as soon as that happened, I just immediately quit uni. But then we played here 2003, and I was kind of looking up the other day. We played Reading and Leeds Festival in 2005, so it went pretty quick.
I'd love to know, what's your sort of favourite gig that you've been to at Brudenell Social Club? Is there like a standout show that you've been to here?
Won't be anything big. It'll be like a mates band. There's a band called Grammatics that I loved. I think Owen's a genius, and I don't know that, because the thing with like when you come to a mates band gig at the Brudenell is it's more fun because you can just stand outside smoking and drinking the whole time, and that's where the sort of where you bump into people, and it's like, and then you have to, but that's part of the thing. Whereas you're not, if St Vincent's playing, you're not going outside smoking, but like so the best gigs are when your mate's playing, you can kind of dip in and out.
What made you pick Leeds out of all of the other cities, and I guess what sort of made you stick around for 20 plus years?
Something to do with the sort of size of it, coming from Derby, and weirdly in Yard Act all four of us are from like smaller towns, and I feel like it's quite an undaunting city while still retaining like a lot of the good elements of a bigger city. It's still got that kind of not village feel, but small town. Positive small town feel. And obviously music and art scene here was wicked.
What were the kind of the first sort of bands that you were seeing play around Leeds? I know obviously James was in Post-War Glamour Girls as well. And obviously you were in Venice Beach. What was the kind of scene when you were first starting out?
Well, that first kind of wave was like Pulled Hot by Horses and a band called This Et Al, and then Ford Russia, who've been documented, a Mac favourite. And it was kind of all that record label.
Dance to the Radio.
Yeah, like all Pigeon Detectives and bands were all on that, and that was all. Yeah, just that whole scene here was pretty great. That was kind of early doors 2000s. Now referred to as indie sleaze, which I don't love, but it's fine. Sort of 2011 to 2015, 16, 17 was like, felt like this thing that had happened in the mid-2000s in Leeds again, really.
Yeah.
It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, because that's around about the time that I moved here. I think I moved here in 2015, and it definitely felt like a really sort of vibrant and exciting time for music, especially gigs. I'd like to know, are there any sort of, you've talked a lot about the, the local music scene and bands that you've sort of been pally with over the years. Are there any sort of bands from Leeds that have inspired you whilst you've been doing this project, or even maybe when you were sort of starting out with Yard Act?
They might take umbrage with being called a Leeds band, but the Cribs definitely. Just their kind of whole approach to being artists. They have this weird thing which I can really connect to, where they're sort of like, they're in a band and they play, they're energetic, like the whole thing of it is incredible, but they sort of seem like they're a bit embarrassed about it, like and it's a weird thing to explain, like they're aware of all the cringiness, so they do all the stuff, but they're a bit like I feel like they have the right angle on, like, don't be a loser about it's that sort of, don't do the cliched thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good ethos to have, totally. Yeah. But then, in other bands, well, I guess even in Yard Act, there was the whole, like, the kind of, one of the historic sort of musical eras of the city was like the whole post-punk swear, it's like Mecca for that or whatever. It's like, Gang of Four, Mekons, all that kind of stuff, Scritty Politti. We were in, it sounds name dropping, but it's not really, but we were in America and played in Boston, and the drummer from Gang of Four, he just walked into our sound check and was like, yeah, and just wants. So he lives there, and he just wanted to come and say hello, and just thought that just because we were from Leeds, that we'd be fine with him walking into this venue. Just ignored everyone, and and just sort of came up on the stage. It was wicked.
Wow.
And then James went and sang a Gang of Four song with them at their last show in London.
All right, then we'll play some Gang of Four on the show. Then, what track would you like to hear?
It's an obvious one, but Damaged Goods. That's the one that James participated in London.
Obviously, fast forward to now, you're in Yard Act, you've done so much stuff with Yard Act, and I feel like, for me, Brudenell sort of feels like quite a big part of Yard Act. Obviously, it's name-checked in one of the songs. I guess sort of how important has this venue sort of been for Yard Act, and I guess sort of the city as well?
Yeah, like absolutely crucial. All of us have been in bands in Leeds and the sort of bigger community for years, and all played here loads. And I think it's not necessarily the bands we were in or the bands we were hanging out with and stuff, but more the out of town and bands from different countries and cities that come here. I don't know, it makes you feel a bit more like these are things that are accessible to me, I guess. When you've got bands like, I don't know, like the OCs or Kurt Vile, or I don't know, even like Caleb Bond and who else did I see here? St. Vincent and stuff.
Out of reach, people, I guess. Yeah,
and like seeing that and it just being like, I'm in this room and I've been in here and I've played here as well. Like, this is all part of I don't know. It's empowering, really. Like seeing that come through. And I think, yeah, I was thinking about music scenes the other day, and I do think the promoter and the gigs element of it is maybe more important than the current like crop of bands that are from that thing, because it's what people are seeing, really.
Finally, I would love to know, I feel like this is going to be a difficult question, but is there a particular song that makes you think of Leeds?
It's the first track off the Cribs second album. It's called Hello Oh. Second album Cribs, they kind of got a bit of a bee in their bonnet because they were maybe getting a bit of a hate from, because music scenes in the cities are, it's always talked about like it's very supportive and rainbows and Care Bears, and the truth is it's not, and that's in a positive way. There's healthy competitiveness, let's say, and that song is just a very well approached explanation of how that can feel, and I can connect with that.